America's Main Street, Route 66, starts in Chicago and travels 301 miles across the prairie state of Illinois to the gateway to the west, St. Louis, Missouri. Much of that path was first laid by the Pontiac tribe, the namesake of where your day begins. You wake up in the classiest hotel in the country, the Best Western, and explore beautiful downtown Pontiac, hitting up a bakery from 1954 and sucking down some cream-filled dream. You check out the local security system and take in a myriad murals, including Lumi from Motorhead saving a little girl from a fire, and this guy, Route 66 legend Bob Waldmeyer. Bob, an accomplished artist and cartographer, spent his life painting America's Main Street, working tirelessly to preserve this piece of Americana, while living every man's dream of sleeping in a sweet, converted Chevrolet school bus, or this 1972 Volkswagen microbus, which served as the inspiration for Fillmore from the movie Cars. Both can be found at Pontiac's Route 66 Museum, along with the cheeky toilet which issues a challenge. Another testament to American engineering can be appreciated right across the street. Celebrating the legacy of a car so embarrassing that General Motors discontinued it in 2010, Pontiac's Pontiac Museum features rides that, legend has it, lasted upwards of 13,000 miles. You journey onward, hitting the road and wetting your whistle in Macon at the Finish Line Sports Bar. Word has it that no one in the bar's 96-year history has been as embarrassed as Jason was when you beat him in a game of pool. Back on the road, you wait on this guy to make a call forever in Lexington, get your kicks into Wanda, feel weird in Bloomington Normal, and smell an old service station from the 30s before tasting an ice cream stand from the 60s. Carl's has been serving the sweet stuff to 66 for over 50 years, back when it was known as Mr. Softy, which definitely was not your nickname in college. You slurp the seasonal pumpkin flavor and black out for an indeterminate amount of time. Afterward, you move through McLean and hit Hotlanta, where you peep the pie lady. She's the giant so hot, she has to sit on the windowsill. Named Lumi after Lumi Bekteshi, the Illinois State Fair pie champion and co-owner of the Country Air restaurant, where advertising works. But that's not the only Muffler man in town, with Paul Bunyan at Palm's Grill Cafe and a whole place to honor the big men at the Illinois Giant Museum. Here you can stand in the shadow of many corporate colossi, including the Texaco Big Friend and the lovable Sneed. On your way out of town, you flash a grin at the Smiley Face Tower. On to Lincoln, the only town named after the president while he was still alive. Honest Abe christened the land with watermelon juice in 1853, because apparently back then they had really good drugs. And you feel like you're tripping when you take in a phone booth on top of City Hall. Installed in the swinging 60s so severe weather spotters could make love in the fresh air, the man tried to remove the curious call box around 15 years ago, before the community made a collective call for it to stay. You schlepped a Sherman, where it's time for a heaping helping of the Double H Bar. Shockingly not named after Hulk Hogan, this tavern arrived in the aftermath of World War II. You sprung to Springfield, eyeballing the Pioneer Motel. Opened in 1951, it has 1 star on TripAdvisor. Dawdling downtown, you appreciate the old state capitol. Built between 1837 and 1840, both Lincoln and Obama announced their candidacies for president in this historic location. Lincoln's body laid in state here overnight in 1865, just a couple of blocks away from Floyd's Thirst Parlor, where you vomited in 2020. Springfield is known for 3 iconic figures: Honest Abe, Bobby McFerrin, and the Lauterbach Muffler Man, who's been scaring children in this location since 1978. Time time for a must-see for any traveler on Route 66. The Cozy Dog, a deep-fried beacon of hope opened in 1946 by Ed Waldmeyer. You may recognize that name because he's the father of Bob Waldmeyer from earlier. Ironically, Bob was famously vegetarian, just like Jane Lynch. In 1946, Ed invented the hot dog on a stick, or as he originally called it, the Krusty Cur. Thankfully, Bob's wife convinced him to change the name to Cozy Dog. You charge your vehicle at a 200,000 square foot sporting goods store with a Ferris wheel and a fish you could learn to love. All roads lead to Litchfield, where, unfortunately, your favorite eatery is closed. Ariston Cafe has been a 66 tradition since 1924. You bop by a bustling, brotherly-owned business with a handsome pitchman, where Jason drops the bomb. He says he can't continue the trip because you're too crazy. But deep down, you know the truth. It's because he can't hang. Despondent, you depart into the darkness, welcoming the cold embrace of the abyss. Or the Twisty Tree, whichever comes first. Originally built as a high school in 1927, the building now serves as a 30,000 square foot antique mall with jovial giants, pesky peak elephants, and a UFO you're not allowed inside. But curiosity gets the better of you, and in a catatonic state, you cross the bridge into Missouri, check into your hotel, enjoy some award-winning pie, and get a load of your next adventure.